everybody. It's Beth with the Chamber. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Coffee Break with the Chamber Chicks. And we have someone who you might think was a Chamber Chick because she volunteers at literally everything for the Chamber. But actually, Miss Brenda Helton with me today has her own business, an accounting firm. And we're so glad to have her today. And we're going to talk about common financial mistakes that we make in our business. So Brenda, tell us a little bit about your business, how you got started. Tell us what we need to know.
Well, I've been in business for myself about 20 years. I have my work life consists of accounting somewhere, and then I went back to school and graduated. My dream was to graduate from the University of North Georgia and come to Cleveland and open a practice, which I have. And as I say, this is my 20th year. Saying a lot.
I know. We were just talking about the last 4 years and how crazy they've been. But we always have to know, this is Coffee with the Chamber Chicks.
Right.
But I know you. But I'm going to ask you this question anyway.
Okay.
What's your go-to coffee order? It's not coffee.
It's not coffee. It's chai tea that was created for me at Farmhouse.
So, some of the questions we have today are, what are some really common financial mistakes that small businesses make from the get-go?
Hands down, it's cash flow. Business owners do not know what their cash flow is, what's coming in, what's going out. And you have to. You have to know this to be able to successfully build a business.
Yeah, without cash, you can't grow.
No, that's absolutely right. And other things like lack of clarity. They're not sure. They want to have a business, but they're not sure what that looks like and how to go about doing it and building it. And then such things as the marketing. They can get sloppy and ineffective, not knowing what their product or service is.
Yeah, you got to be super tight on that.
You got to be super tight on that. You got to know what your competition is. You've got to know if the market is flooded, what you have can be sustainable in the market that you're in. And procrastination. One of the things in any business, you've got to keep up with some stuff. And business owners can run a business, but managing one is totally different. And if you don't have a handle on the components of a business and financials and all that, then you're not going to do very well.
I tell them there's a difference between working on your business and working in your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Another area is employees, incompetent employees, and sometimes that incompetent employee is a business owner. So,
Oof. Ouch. My
Yes, I have some stories, and then ignoring customer needs. One of the things I talk about all the time to anybody that will listen to me are builders, or renovators, or handy people, or whatever that goes. People will call them and they'll never call back, or they'll call and they'll say we'll be there a certain day and never show up, or they're not fair on their pricing. They'll take money to go buy things and never come back. So that kind of thing. You're not going to stay in business for long doing that. And then you do have to pay attention to your competition to see, and it's okay to to find out what they're doing and copy it.
Listen, we love
as long as it's not illegal.
We love the free market here.
Yes,
but free does not
mean
unlimited.
Unlimited. No, it doesn't. There's guidelines for sure.
So tell us about. We see this as a challenge sometimes. How important is it to keep your business finances separate from your personal? Because we see a lot of, especially first-time business owners, when I ask them, who are you banking with? Oh, well, I'm just putting all this money in my personal checking account.
That can be a problem tax-wise for sure, because if a business gets audited and it's mixed like that, then the IRS has a hard time determining whether it's a hobby or a business. And that can affect your tax situation. It's just in how you're going to keep up with what's business and what's personal if you don't keep it separate. That's one of the problems I've seen with my clients over the years, is that they mingle their funds. then they spend a lot of time trying to figure out. Not they spend a lot of time answering my questions. What are you doing here? What does this mean? Is this really and truly a business expense? So it's always, always, always a good rule of thumb to keep it separate. And with a C corporation or an S corporation, by law, you have to keep them separate.
So another thing that we wanted to touch on a little bit today was what kind of financial statements or metrics should small businesses be really familiar with and be watching very closely?
There's three: the balance sheet, profit and loss, and cash flow. Balance sheet has on it what your assets, your liabilities, and your equities are. Profit and loss has your income and expenses and your net income at any given period of time. And again, the cash flow is what tells you what you've got coming in and going out. Those are very, very important. And if a business owner doesn't know how to read one, I'm meet up with mine all the time and say, look, if it's got a negative and an asset when it's not supposed to have one, then why is it there? Something's posted wrong. And that makes a difference in the bottom line, especially when your taxes come around.
The tax man.
Yes.
So one of the things that we have questions about are how, we talked a lot about cash flow. How can businesses sort of manage that cash flow best?
Well, some businesses are small enough to where they don't really need an accounting program, or they can create a spreadsheet to make that happen. And then there are some accounting programs out there, and then somebody like me,
So making sure you know what's coming in and what's going out.
Absolutely. And
much like your own personal budget at home, right?
Absolutely, it has to have one. Have to do that.
So how do you recommend that businesses track that income and those expenses that are coming in and going out so that they do stay on top of everything?
Well, not to get behind. They don't need to be getting behind. That's one of the procrastination statements, is you need to keep up with it. You've got invoicing, bank statements. Make sure you're invoicing on time. That helps the cash coming in. Sometimes you can put off paying the vendor to keep some cash going. Not pay them, but just put off paying them. Take the 10 days, 15 days, 30 days, whatever it is they give you and that will help your cash flow.
I think that was one of the things you told us to tell people during COVID, to make a plan for cash flow. So
plan.
if you just had one piece of advice for every business owner, what would that be?
What would that be? I tell people all the time, you're not alone.
Yes, you are not alone.
You are not alone when you're starting a business. There are just so many avenues. Here is one. And this is a great place to start, to network and get your name out and connect with these people that can help grow your business. And there's just somebody, if you don't know you don't know, and ask, because you can just surround yourself with the right people and your business will have a better chance of being successful.
Mm-hmm. I'm all for that one.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think Beth and I talk about a lot. You don't know what you don't know, but you need to be willing to admit that you don't know what you don't know. So
Absolutely.
So you mentioned that not everybody maybe needs the help right now yet of a outside accountant or someone else helping them. But when should a small business consider outsourcing, whether it comes to their bookkeeping or any of their accounting needs?
When things get to be overwhelming, when they're spending as much time on doing the books and getting all their stuff together that way as they are working their business, or if their mistakes are becoming more prevalent. So
that can happen quickly.
It can happen quickly.
I think we have a lot of people who start a business that don't understand, quarterly filings and how quickly a quarter rolls up on you.
And even if it's just you, depending on how your structure is, if you're a corporation and you get behind on payroll taxes, you're still going to pay those.
Labor is it's very tight. You have to stay on top of that. That's a job unto itself, I think.
It is. Payroll is complicated, and it involves a lot.
A lot. But here's our favorite, our last question, and our favorite. How has being a part of the White County Chamber contributed most to your business?
Well, I've gotten some referrals through here. I've met some really, really great people. I've gained some clients from my time with the chamber, and I think it's been probably 16, 18 years I've been involved with the chamber.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. Y'all are a great asset.
What's your favorite chamber thing to do?
Taste.
Go ahead, look it in the camera. and say
The
it.
taste of the town.
There it is, folks.
You heard it here.
Absolutely. That is the most fun. And me and Carol Jackson manned the raffle table.
You ain't never seen raffle sales like this.
Tickets everywhere.
Don't stop by the table if you don't bring some money.
And bring enough money.
Bring enough money. Absolutely. But the taste is my favorite. Yeah.
So thank you guys for joining in for this episode, our second episode of Coffee with the Chamber Chicks, with an OG Chamber Chick over here, Brenda Helton. So we thank you so much for hanging out with us today, and we look forward to having you on the show at some point later and really dive in
We
deeper.
do taxes.
Yep,
Yep.
we're going to talk about
gonna talk
taxes.
about
So that
taxes.
one's going to be really fun.
You don't want to, but you got us.
Yeah.
Might as well do it in a fun environment.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because we are the most fun you've ever had doing business. It's not like we planned that or anything.
It just happens.
But thank y'all for joining in, and we will see you next time on Coffee Break with the Chamber Chicks. Bye. Bye.